There's a moment, every single day, more powerful than your morning coffee, more sacred than a Sunday sermon, and more magnetic than hours of forced affirmations. Yet, you keep skipping it. You've been taught to hustle, to grind, to chase success. But what if I told you that everything you've been chasing is actually waiting for you, in the silence between thoughts? This forgotten moment is the most potent time to reprogram your mind, to reshape your reality, to become the version of yourself who already has it all, and it's hidden in plain sight. It's called SATS, state akin to sleep, a concept first introduced by Neville Goddard, a man who claimed that imagination creates reality, not metaphorically, literally. SATS is that mysterious twilight zone right before you fall asleep, and right after you begin to wake. Your body is relaxed, your conscious mind is quiet, your subconscious, the manifesting powerhouse, is wide open, and that's exactly when you have direct access to rewrite your life, to install new beliefs, to plant seeds that grow into wealth, love, health, even miracles. But most people waste it. They drift off, replaying failures, scrolling through chaos, worrying about bills, complaining, comparing, not realizing that their final thoughts before sleep become the blueprint for their next reality. Listen closely. What you feel and imagine in that delicate window, right before sleep, sets the tone for what you experience in the waking world. That's why SATS isn't just another new age buzzword. It's the missing link. And the truth is, if you're not using SATS intentionally, you're unconsciously using it destructively. Let that sink in. Every night, you're slipping into the command center of your reality. But if you don't know the commands, your life stays stuck in autopilot. Now here's the good news. You don't need more time. You don't need more hustle. You just need a few minutes and the right mental script to turn your nightly descent into sleep into a launch pad for manifestation. Inside SATS, you can see yourself already living the life you desire. You can feel the emotion of having it now. You can impress your subconscious with the truth of a new version of you, a wealthy you, a healthy you, a loved and magnetic you. And the craziest part? Your outer world must begin to conform to that inner reality, not because of luck, but because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined scene and something real. It accepts what you feel as truth, and it begins rearranging your life to match. If you're watching this right now, this is no coincidence. You were guided here, because deep down, you know there's more to life than struggle. You know you're meant to manifest with ease. So I'm inviting you to do something most people won't. Take control of your SATS practice. Don't let another night go to waste. Click the link below to register for my free SATS Activation Masterclass, where I'll walk you step by step through the exact nightly routine I've used to manifest money, healing, opportunities, and deep love, using only the power of imagination. And if you believe someone you care about is stuck in an old story, share this video. This might be the wake-up call they've been waiting for. Join thousands already changing their lives through SATS. Your new reality begins tonight. Now imagine this. You're lying in bed. Your body melts into the mattress. Your breathing slows. And instead of overthinking your day, you close your eyes and step into a new scene. You're already living your dream life. You hear the laughter of your future partner. You feel the leather seats of your dream car. You see your bank balance glowing with more than enough. Your subconscious doesn't argue. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't say, "But how? But when? But what if it doesn't work?" It simply accepts. And once it's accepted by your subconscious, it's only a matter of time before your physical world shifts to reflect it. The truth is, you don't manifest from force. You manifest from assumption. And SATS is where assumption becomes automatic. This is not theory. It's not fluff. It's how your mind already works. You're just not doing it on purpose. Every single night, you're either impressing your subconscious with fear or with faith, with limitation or with liberation. So ask yourself, what are you planting before sleep? Doubt? Debt? Disappointment? Or certainty? Success? Sovereignty? Testimonial 1. Female voice. I started using SATS just to help me sleep better, but within 30 days, my freelance income tripled. No ads, no hustle, just alignment. Testimonial 2. Male voice. My therapist couldn't believe the progress I made. I used to spiral every night before bed, but now I sleep in the scene of my dream life. It changed everything. Testimonial 3. Voice of a young adult. I used SATS to imagine myself walking across a graduation stage. 2 months later, I got accepted into my dream university, after being rejected twice before. This isn't luck. It's law. What you accept in your imagination, you command in your life. And the best part is, you don't need to believe it 100% right now. Just experiment. Tonight. Just for a few minutes. Let go of the day. Close your eyes. Relax your body. And step into the wish fulfilled. Feel it. Taste it. Touch it. As if it were already true. Let me ask you something very real. If you already had what you wanted, how would you feel falling asleep? Grateful? Peaceful? Excited for tomorrow? That's the frequency. That's the scene. And that's the key. SATS unlocks every night if you're bold enough to use it. And here's a secret nobody talks about. You don't need a full movie scene. You don't need a 30-minute meditation. You only need a moment, a loop, a few seconds of a clear, imaginal act, repeated until it feels real. A hand sliding across a kitchen countertop in their dream home. A partner whispering, "I love you," in their ear. A phone notification showing, "Payment received, $10,000." A doctor saying, "You're completely healed." These tiny imaginal acts, when repeated in SATS, become instructions to the subconscious, and the subconscious doesn't delay. It executes. It reorganizes people, opportunities, timing, even your inner chemistry, to match the emotional tone of that imaginal experience. That's not magic. That's mechanics. So, if your life isn't yet reflecting your desires, the question isn't, why isn't it working? The question is, what are you feeding your subconscious every night before you sleep? Because SATS will magnify whatever you give it. If you hand it fear, it builds more fear. If you hand it abundance, it builds more evidence of abundance. You can't escape this law, but you can master it. And when you do, life doesn't feel like a fight anymore. It becomes a mirror, a game, a creative process. And if all of this sounds too good to be true, I get it. Most of us were trained to believe change has to be earned, that healing has to be painful, that success has to be slow. But that's a program, an old belief. And beliefs are not facts. They're stories. And stories can be rewritten. You rewrite them with repetition, emotion, and intention. You rewrite them in SATS. You don't need to fix your life during the day. You just need to plant the right vision at night. Let the seed work while you rest. What you plant in sleep, you harvest in reality. So, are you planting weeds? Or are you planting wealth? Are you replaying old pain? Or are you rehearsing your dream life? There's a reason the most powerful minds in history practiced some version of SATs, because they understood that imagination is the root and life is the fruit. Don't let this moment pass. Click the link. Register for the free SATS Activation Masterclass. No fluff, no filler. Just the exact steps to command your reality while you sleep. Plus, when you register, I'll send you my free SATS Scene Builder Guide, so you can start tonight, even if you're brand new to all this. And if you're already practicing SATs, but not seeing results, this will unlock the missing piece. Share this video with someone who keeps saying, "I've tried everything." Because chances are, they've tried everything except the one thing that works when everything else stops: SATs. So tonight, when the world quiets down, when your eyes grow heavy, and your body begins to drift, don't miss the door, don't miss the moment, because in that sacred pause between awake and asleep, you are no longer bound by logic. You are no longer limited by time. In that moment, you are not reacting to life. You are rehearsing it. And what you rehearse in feeling, what you accept as real in that twilight trance, becomes the script your subconscious casts into your waking hours. It's not poetry. It's process. The problem is, most people unknowingly enter SATs carrying yesterday's weight. They fall asleep thinking about what went wrong, who ghosted them, how much they didn't get done, what the bank account still looks like. But you're waking up to a deeper truth, that you are the author, the director, and the lead role, and the script gets written every single night in the silence of your own mind. Don't underestimate how powerful you become when you stop reacting and start imagining deliberately. When you say, "I am the version of me who already has what I've been chasing," and you feel it, not someday, right now. This is what Neville meant when he said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled," not talk about it, not think about it, not make a 12-step plan for it. Assume it, feel it, own it, even if your senses tell you otherwise, because your senses are just echoes of past assumptions. They're not prophecy, they're memory, and memory can be rewritten. SATs isn't just a manifestation hack, it's a doorway, an ancient technology, a return to the blueprint of how reality is shaped by consciousness. The mystics knew it, the prophets hinted at it, and science is only just beginning to catch up. When your brain enters theta, that dreamy pre-sleep frequency, your analytical mind drops, your emotional body opens, and your subconscious becomes teachable. You don't need to force affirmations. You don't need to fix anything. You just need to feel it real. When you close your eyes and enter the scene of your ideal life, you're watering the seed. And the subconscious doesn't grow weeds when you plant intention. It grows what you feed it, consistently. So what if, tonight, you stopped scrolling just 5 minutes earlier? You silenced the world, slowed your breath, and whispered to your subconscious, "Here's what we're living next." What if you rehearsed joy, peace, overflow, love? What if you saw the version of yourself that others can't yet see? You don't manifest from wishing, you manifest from embodying. SATs is not about watching your dream life like a movie. It's about becoming the actor, touching the props, breathing the air, hearing the applause, smelling the sea breeze from your future villa. Feel it real, not just with your mind, but your body. Let your nervous system acclimate to a new normal, and watch how quickly your world aligns. Most people wait for signs, for evidence, for proof that things are working. But SATs isn't about waiting, it's about assuming now. Becoming now. Living from the wish, not toward it. You don't say, I'm trying to become successful. You say, I am successful, and the world is catching up. And every night, in that fragile space between thought and dream, you get another chance to drop the old story and write a new one. People just like you, all around the world, are doing this nightly. Some quietly, some secretly. But the results are speaking loud. Unexpected money appearing, long-lost relationships restored, diseases healing, careers transforming, not by chance, by choice, by using their imaginal faculties in the one window of time where resistance is weakest and creation is fastest. So here's what I want you to do tonight, right before bed. Lie still, take 3 deep breaths, and replay the scene of your wish fulfilled. Make it vivid, make it short, make it loop. Let it sink beneath thought. Let your body believe it, and fall asleep in that energy. Because SATS isn't about forcing the world to change. It's about becoming the version of you that the world must respond to. And if doubt creeps in, if your brain tries to interrupt with reality, smile, because that's proof. The old programming is panicking. It knows it's being replaced. Just return to the feeling, return to the scene, return to the wish. Night after night, until one day, you wake up and realize. You wake up and realize the version of you you've been imagining. It's not just a fantasy anymore. It's a memory from the future, becoming your now. Because here's what they never taught us. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And SATS is where the shift happens. Not in your words, not in your vision board, not in the hustle, but in the identity you fall asleep with. Reality bends for the one who believes it's already theirs. Not with arrogance, not with entitlement, but with peace. That grounded, unwavering knowing that the outer world is just catching up to what the inner world already accepted. And here's the magic. You don't have to figure it out. You don't need a business plan to feel successful. You don't need the perfect partner to feel loved. You just need to live it in consciousness, consistently enough that your nervous system forgets it was ever missing. That's the difference between wishing and assuming. Wishing asks, when will it happen? Assuming says, it already has. And in that state, you don't beg, you don't chase, you don't need signs, you become the sign. Let me be real with you for a moment. If you're still searching for proof, still refreshing your bank app every hour, still wondering why nothing is happening, it's not because SATs isn't working. It's because you're falling asleep in the energy of lack, of maybe someday, of I hope. And hope is beautiful, but it's not the language of the subconscious. The subconscious listens to certainty. It listens to emotion. It listens to what you feel is true when no one's watching. Maybe you were trained to doubt. Maybe you were told your dreams were unrealistic. Maybe you were taught to play small so others wouldn't feel insecure. But that's not your truth. That's programming. Inherited, conditioned, repeated. Until you started to confuse it with who you are. SATS lets you drop the noise, return to the signal, to you. The real you. The one who remembers what it feels like to be infinite. Because before you were told what was possible, before you were handed the rules, before you learned to doubt, you knew. You imagined. You assumed. And life responded. Because it always does. So what if, just for tonight, you remembered what it felt like to expect miracles, to know you were chosen, to feel safe in the unknown? This is the real power of SATS. It's not about things. It's not about the car, the money, the person, those are just reflections, not the source. The real shift happens when you become the version of you who no longer needs to manifest, because they already know it's done. When you stop looking around to see if it worked, and you start walking like it already did. That version of you? They don't wait. They rest. They assume. They expect. And the world, like a loyal mirror, catches up. SATS is the invitation to surrender the how and become the who, to stop micromanaging the universe and start living from a deeper law. That consciousness is the only reality. And when consciousness is saturated with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, circumstances must change. People must align. Paths must open. Not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you are. So tonight, let go of needing proof. Let go of needing permission. Let go of the version of you that had to try so hard just to feel worthy. And instead, fall asleep as the one who already is. Not in theory, not in fantasy, but in feeling. Just feel it once, then again, until that feeling becomes your new baseline. Because that's when the world shifts without warning. That's when you wake up and say, "This feels familiar." Not because it's a coincidence, but because you practiced it in SATS. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before fear crept in, before the bills, before the heartbreak, before they told you you had to be realistic. It's about remembering you're not the circumstance. You're the creator of it. And creators don't beg reality to change. They imagine it. They embody it. And they fall asleep in the energy of already done. So if you're still here, listening, it's not by accident. Your soul knew. It's time to stop being a passive observer. It's time to stop collecting manifestation tips like trophies. And it's time to go deeper, to cross the threshold, to use SATS not as a trick, but as a tool of transformation. Because the real question isn't, will it work? The question is, are you finally ready to let go of the identity that keeps asking that? Assume it, until the world has no choice but to catch up. Every time you fall asleep, you have a chance to tell your subconscious, "This is who we are now." And it listens, and it builds, and it begins, and it begins. The moment your eyes close, the moment your body softens, the moment the noise fades, and all that's left is you, and the infinite canvas of your inner world. You, and the truth you've buried beneath layers of logic and fear. You, and the future that's been patiently waiting for your permission to arrive. This is where your story bends. This is where you stop reacting and start creating on purpose. Not next week, not next year, tonight. Feel it now, not vaguely, not wishfully, but vividly. What does it smell like? What are you wearing? What are they saying to you? Where are you waking up? This is not just a scene. This is your instruction to the universe, your declaration, your emotional signature. Because the universe doesn't hear your words. It responds to your frequency. And your frequency is set by what you accept as done. This is where you shift from being a seeker to being a rememberer. Because somewhere deep down, you always knew. You were never here to wish and wait. You were here to feel and embody. And SATS, this fragile golden moment between waking and sleep, is your gateway to wealth, to love, to health, to peace, but most of all, to your truest self, the one that was never broken, never limited, never waiting. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need one more video, book, or course to get started. You only need you. The you who's brave enough to say, "Tonight, I rewrite everything. So here's what you're going to do. As you lie in bed, before sleep, breathe slowly. Let the day melt. And then feel. Feel as if it's done, not with effort, but with relief. Like you've already arrived, because when you fall asleep in the feeling of I am, you're not dreaming anymore. You're reprogramming your entire reality. Maybe you've tried before. Maybe nothing changed. Maybe part of you is afraid to hope again. I get it. I've been there. But let me tell you this. The old version of you, the one that kept trying from lack, is fading. And the new one, the one who assumes from abundance, that one is being born tonight. And no one can stop that. I fall asleep in abundance. I assume my desire is already mine. I don't chase. I align. My imagination creates my world. It is done. So, lie still, close your eyes, and return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let it loop. Let it anchor. Let it flood your nervous system like light. And as you drift into sleep, you're not trying to manifest. You're being it. You're the version of you who already knows. This is real. This is done. This is now. Now, if this message spoke to you, if something deep inside you stirred, if you felt chills, or tears, or the quiet knowing that this was meant for you, then don't just let this video be another one you liked. Let it be a moment that marks your new story. Comment below right now. I am falling asleep in the feeling of it already done. Let the world feel your shift. Let the algorithm know you're no longer here to consume. You're here to create. You're here to be. And when you comment, you're not just engaging. You're declaring. You're locking in the new identity. O-type it. Declare it. Anchor it. I am falling asleep in the feeling of it already done. And if you've already begun, if you've had even the smallest shift through SIT use, share your story in the comments. Someone else needs to see that it works. Your comment might be the bridge to someone else's breakthrough, because this is no longer just about you. It's a ripple, a movement, a remembrance that we're not here to wait. We're here to wake up, together. So tonight, don't just fall asleep. Fall into your power. And when your head touches the pillow, ask yourself one final question. If it were already done, how would I feel right now? Feel that, and let sleep do the rest. You don't have to hope it works when you know it's already done. We'll see you in the dream.